I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 88. Robert Burns, that is on page 35, while doing shoulder impingement training. And if you participate in shoulder impingement training, that is at your own risk. So Robert Burns, he lived from 1759 until 1796. Can we remember that date somehow? We could start with learning how old he got, then we can calculate. Known in Scotland as the Bard, Robert Burns was a Scottish poet. Okay. In Scotland, Robert Burns is known under the nickname the Bard. We have a couple of other nicknames. We have, for Mary, we have Mary Queen of Scots, but this doesn't have to be a nickname. We have for the other Mary, the child of Catherine of Aragon and Henry VIII, Bloody Mary. And we have, technically, for Henry VIII, King of Ireland, but that's the title, not a nickname. We're having for Edward Charles Stuart, the grandson of James II, we have Bonnie Prince Charlie. And we have, maybe with our, and now we're having for Robert Burns, the Bard. And Robert Burns was born in 1759, and he lived until 1796. Robert Burns was a Scottish poet. So he was a poet from Scotland. He wrote in the Scots language. We know of someone else writing in the Scottish language. That was John Babur. He had written the Bruce. The Bruce, that is Burns. So the Bruce. That was Robert the Bruce, who had led the Scottish army in the Battle of Bannockburn against the English, and there the Scottish had won. So John Babur wrote the Bruce. This is Robert Burns. He wrote in the Scottish language, English with some Scottish words and standard English. So he wrote directly in Scottish, which is actually difficult to read for people who do not speak Scottish. English, who can speak only English. English with some Scottish words. He had written also some things where he was writing mostly in Scottish, but there were then Scottish words in. But he was also writing in standard English. So sometimes full Scottish, then a bit in between, and also standard English. He also revised a lot of traditional folk songs by changing or adding the lyrics. So I know the word revisited, but revised could be something else. He also revised a lot of traditional folk songs by changing or adding the lyrics. So there were songs who were 1,000 years old or something. And when he added a few more words at some times, or a new line to make it more beautiful or something. And so he sometimes put another line in or added a new line to folk songs. Let's start with shoulder impingement training. We are just starting to warm up with forward shoulder circuits. We go back of shoulders, up, in front, and down. And again, back, up, in front, and down. We will focus a little more on shoulder impingement training this time. In front and down, and now backwards. In front, up, back, and down. In front, and down. And number 2 circuit. Last one. And now we're doing this exercise. We are lifting the arms up, and we're just concentrating on the humerus. If the humerus opens up, on the scapula, we're concentrating on the scapula, that the humerus can open up. Scapula is the big bone here, and the humerus is the bone in the other. If that exercise hurts, then don't do it. Lift the arms up and concentrate just on the humerus, on the scapulas. Are they opening up properly to make room for the humerus? And just one last time. Lift the arms up. And again down. And now a similar exercise. Arms to the outside. And just concentrate on the scapulas. Are they moving around the ribcage and following all this? Now back together with scapulas and pinchment together. And now again around the ribcage and following around the ribcage. Now back over the ribcage and pinch together. And following over the ribcage, the arms to the sides. And the last round, shoulder blades or scapulas pinch together. And again front and back, and that was this exercise. Now on to the word lifter and its partner exercise. We are having long arms with fists, and we bring these arms into internal rotation, so turn them to the inside, and bring the shoulders together, down and back, back, together and down. Then under pressure, so turn the arms to the inside, and the shoulders down, together, and open the chest a little bit to the sky. Now change the position of the arms back, the shoulders down, together. And change the arms into internal rotation, the shoulders are staying down, together. And change the arms to the outside, the scapula's down. That was the exercise. Do the similar exercise. The arms to the outsides, the fists a little bit in front of the arms. Bring the arms into internal rotation and bring the shoulders down together. Under pressure. The arms in front, the shoulders down and together. And now change the position of the arms back, and this time also the shoulders up and in front. Arms back, shoulders up and in front. And change again. The arms in front and the shoulders down together. And the last time changing. The arms back, shoulders up and in front. And that was this exercise. So Robert Burns, 1759-1796, was a Scottish poet. He was writing directly in Scottish, sometimes in English with Scottish words or in standard English, and he revised traditional folk songs by changing or adding lyrics. Burns' best known work is probably the song Auld Lang Syne, which is sung by people in the UK and other countries when they are celebrating the New Year, or Hogmanay as it is called in Scotland. So Auld Lang Syne, it is written like that.
There. The Auld Lang Syne. Under my finger. Auld Lang Syne.
No, it means not old. It means Auld Lang Syne. It means old long since. It means Auld Lang Syne. So the Syne means since, and the old means old. Auld Lang Syne, and then it goes on. But then that happened, I think it was something like that. And the other sense for it is sung by people in the UK and other countries when we are celebrating the New Year. So not just in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland it is sung, but also in other countries when New Year is celebrated on the 1st January, I think. And that New Year is known as Hogmanay in Scotland. I can't find out what Hogmanay, where the word from comes from, but New Year is known in Scotland as Hogmanay. We are through with Robert Burns, but not with the shoulder impingement training. We don't have so much time, it's 6 minutes. We're going to need most of the time for the shoulder impingement training. We are now bringing the arms up, and we're shrugging the shoulders up. Again, if this exercise causes pain, then don't do it. Any other exercise. So shrug the shoulders up. No, bring the arms up. Now shrug the shoulders up. I release it all again. Bring the arms up. Shrug the shoulders up. And release it all again. And the last time. Bring the arms up. Shrug the shoulders up. And release it all again. And the next exercise, it is the pretzel cut. Bring the arms together and bringing them a bit down and to the outsides, and we're just concentrating on the movement which the scapulas are doing. So just concentrate, are the scapulas moving properly, or let's start with, just concentrate that the scapulars are moving, that these are two movable bones. The back is not one compartment, but it has multiple different parts, and two of them, the best movable maybe, are the two scapulars. And they have important tasks, and they're doing them more or less automatically, but with shoulder impingement there's a problem with it. The next exercise, it is the sundering. You can also use a tennis ball or something. Then we are at the outside, and we're letting it fall, and then we are catching it again. And we are wandering slowly in front while doing that. And the other side. That was the sundial, and I think we're done with all the exercises. Now we're bringing one arm in front and we're stretching that arm. And that shoulder stays back. And the other arm in front. And that shoulder stays back. And we're having 4 minutes left. So first of all, Robert Burns was born in 1759 and lived until 1796. He was a Scottish poet. He wrote in the Scottish language, but also sometimes in English with Scottish words, or in completely standard English. He revised traditional folk songs, and he changed and added new lines sometimes. And he is best known for Auld Lang Syne, and that is sung on New Year's Day, not only in the United Kingdom, but also other countries. And New Year's Day itself is known in Scotland as Hogmanay Day. Hogmanay. But I think that's could be day. But I don't want to speculate around. But I'm saying it now clearly. Hogmanay. I'm seeing there a bit Hogmanay. Hogmanay. But it could be something completely else, and I have no idea what it means. So Hogmanay in Scotland at New Year. And let's go with the two other people which we know of. These are William Shakespeare, 1564-1660. Now we will throw them all together with numbers. William Shakespeare, he was a playwright, a poet also, and he was also an actor. He was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in England, and he wrote, for example, not William Shakespeare, he wrote A Midsummer Night's Dream, Macbeth, Hamlet, and Romeo and Juliet. We know some quotes. Henry V, so the work by William Shakespeare. There's, for example, the quote, "Once more upon the bridge." We know something else about William Shakespeare. He wrote dramatized versions about real events of kings and queens, but also fictional things. And he did also wrote about ordinary man and woman. And the Globe Theatre is built in the style as it had been built if it were built during the time in which Shakespeare lived, and that was 1564-1616. And the other quotes are also, as you like it, all words of stage. Out of Sonnet 18, shall I compare thee to a summer's day, the darling buds of May, and out of Romeo and Juliet, Rouse upon another name, and something else. And about Isaac Newton, we know that he was born in 1643 and lived until 1727. Out of Hamlet is to be or not to be from William Shakespeare. And Isaac Newton, he wrote about gravity, and he found out that white light had the colors of the rainbow. And he published the work Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, or something like that. And many of his things which he said are still important. He was part of a Royal Society, founded by Charles II, who was open to science. And the Royal Society is the longest existing, still surviving science organization, or something like that. It was another person is William Haley. The Forms of Natural Knowledge. This is the oldest surviving scientific society in the world, and we have something similar to William Haley, who predicted successfully the return of the after him named Haley comet, is Sir Francis Drake. He took part in the Battle of 1588 against the Spanish Armada, led by Queen Elizabeth I, the defense, not the Spanish Armada. And he, with a golden hint, he circumnavigated the world, and that means to sail around the world. Whatever that means. I think we would have 40 seconds left. King Henry VIII was reigning from the 21st April 1509 until the 28th January 1547. And he had 6 wives, and these are Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr, and they are divorced, divorced, killed, survived. And I thank you very much, and until next time.